This is the Mike Solves podcast, where Mike Griffin literally solves all the world's problems. Have you ever been driving in your car and thought, hey, there's a problem, wish I could solve it. Yo, DJ, drop it while the DJ revolves it? Something like that? Well, Mike Griffin does, and he will. He'll solve it. He doesn't even have to drop the DJ's revolver. Dig it? Can you dig it? Anyways, enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Mike Solves. This is the first podcast in what I hope to be a continuing series here. I'd like to thank the guys over at Zombie Takeover TV for giving me an opportunity here to voice my opinion and share it with you here. There'll probably be some kinks, but we'll work those out along the way. And obviously, if you haven't taken the chance, please check out anything else over at Zombie Takeover TV. If you're here, chances are you know of them because this is the only place you can get this. So I'm probably preaching to the choir. I hope that all of that sounded heartfelt and genuine because, well, shit, it's the best I can do for real human emotion. So that's what this is going to have to look like. But this segment is Mike Solves. It's based off of my website, MikeSolvesAmerica.com. If you want to go check it out, I suggest you do because, well, I make lots of money off of it, or at least I'm trying to because I'm a whore. But anyway, the whole idea of the bit is that I solve the problems that plague this country. All right. And believe me, you people have a lot of problems. And I'm here for you. I have a lot of answers. I have a lot of free time. I'm only marginally employed most of the time. So believe me, no matter how minute your problem is, you can send it to me and I will solve your problem. But in lieu of having problems that other people have sent me to solve, kind of like Dear Abby, I guess you'd say, I am here to solve today one of the biggest problems, one of the biggest debates you see out there among our country, and that's abortion. All right. I know we're not really tiptoeing into anything here, are we? There's no shallow water to wade into here, folks. We're straight up just going to go talk about abortion. And I know that this may be hard for some of you out there to swallow, and this is probably going to bend a lot of you the wrong way. But maybe, just maybe, you're going to have to consider this, that the pro-life crowd is right. We know they're right. Let's say they're correct. They may actually be correct. I mean, think about it, really. When it comes to abortion, these guys could have the right idea. Has anyone ever stopped to listen to them? And I know, all you people there's a lot of people out there that are going to be saying, well, how can a man know what's best for a woman, in her body? But I mean, if you think about this, some of the all-time greatest people in the world, they all had at least one father, biologically speaking, that is. So yes, there is a very good chance that person had an influence on that great person's life, and that's all because of a man. And, men, we can't sell them short. I mean, I know as much fun as it is to shit on the male gender here these days. We really can't because, men have been responsible for some of the greatest ideas all throughout history. Peanut butter, man invented it. Sewing machine, that was even a man, all right? We were there to try to make your lives easier, ladies. Machine gun, man did it. Atomic bomb. That was a whole group of men who did that. And that's why that shit was probably so awesome. So I don't know why, with all of this good stuff that men have done, all this cool shit that men have done, why is it might be so hard to accept that they are right about a woman, what a woman should do with her body? I mean, if it weren't for men, we'd all be eating peanuts raw and killing each other with sticks. All right. So we can all agree that's no way to live, at least in my mind. Also, no way to die, I suppose. So maybe we should take these men seriously for a minute. Maybe we should listen to what they have to say. And maybe we should make abortion illegal. Maybe we should give them a chance. And so that's exactly what I'm proposing, all right? I'm not talking about making abortion illegal. No, I'm just talking about giving these guys a chance. You know, instead of all the countless hours that we're spending on litigation that nitpicks the meaning of a few words or tries to define when life starts and stops, instead of all the billions of dollars lost on countless court battles, let's once and for all settle the issue. Let's see if these men really know what pro-life means. Let's give them a plant. All right, yeah, that's right. A fucking plant. That's what I'm talking about. And yeah, for all you pro-lifers who may have drifted into the conversation, and that's okay. Everyone has their own opinions, but I'm sure that most people who are listening to shit like this on the internet aren't aren't of that crowd. But if you thought that we were honestly going to let you just jump right in and start making legislation on human bodies and babies, you're fucking insane. All right. Any worthwhile scientific endeavor has to go through trials and research and testing before they even get to be used on human subjects. All right. There's a whole lot of shit that happens at General Mills before they let that taste tester, take that cereal out to the mall and they try to spoon feed it to you. And that's just with cereal. So imagine what it's going to be like with medicine or even an instance like this, human life. So you're going to have to back up on this. And besides, the whole point here is you're not trying to convince yourself that you're right. You know you're right. At least in your own mind, you're right. And that's okay. You need that kind of belief. You need that kind of crazy ass belief for certain things. I have it in my own life on certain things. But you got to convince the pro-choice crowd. And what does the pro-choice crowd do? They want science. They want science. And they want data to back up the decision. All right? So if you want to show them what you know, you're going to have to play by their rules. All right? You're going to have to do it their way. You certainly don't want to open the religious can of worms. You'll never be able to test for all the variables if you do, all right? I know that's what you're thinking, in your head, well, religion says this is correct. You can't test for everything with religion, all right? You're going to have to keep it to this science test. So stick to the science side of this. Trust me on this, because this is the only way that you're going to be able to validate your argument with the godless left. Those were air quotes. You can't see them in a podcast, but they're there. Trust me. And for you pro-choicers, don't get angry that the pro-life group is getting this chance. First, and really, we should applaud the pro-life crowd for this. Because usually that grouping, and no offense here if you're still here, pro-lifers, usually that group directly overlaps with the same men who constantly want to increase our military spending and want to bomb every other country that looks at us cross-eyed. So let's first of all take 1 second to congratulate them for not wanting to resort to their first instinct, which is to kill. All right. It may not seem like a win now, but I really think we should allow them to explore their feelings here of human compassion and see where they lead. So bravo to you, pro-lifers, for not wanting to kill something right off the top. That's what school shootings are for later. But really, though, pro-choice folks, choicers, as I like to call you, you really do need to give this a chance, and you got to hang with me on this. And the big reason is because memes and pithy statements don't change anybody's mind. I mean, seriously, I had to have seen 3,000 different memes and or little statements about pro-life and women's choice in a woman's body and all of this about legislation uh, as to why pro-choice matters. And you know what? You know where it's gotten you? Nowhere. It's gotten you nothing. That's right. You can sit there and come up with all the clever one-liners you want or all the beautiful infographics. And what's it got you? Instead, a generation after Roe versus Wade is passed, abortion, the right to an abortion, is under more threat than ever. Than ever. And I would say, and we have more laws being passed in every state trying to counteract that ruling, trying to get its case before the Supreme Court. And I would say that's it stands directly with the increase of memes and everything else that's going on out there. A meme's never changed anyone's life, ever. I have never heard anyone say, well, I agreed with him until I saw that meme. So if you think that you're doing doing good work, I'm just here to tell you the other side isn't impressed and they're not listening. So we got to try a different tactic, because if you're going to keep doing the same thing over and over, that's insanity. And you got to actually see if you're right in this instance as well. And this is just as much of a test for you. So come on, you just got to follow me down this road, and I'm going to lay out how all of this works. So like I said, we're starting with the plant and we're going to move from there. So if you hold on 1 second, we're going to get to it. All right, just flow with me. And this is where, for starters, this is what we're going to do. First of all, abortion is still going to be legal during all of this testing. It's currently the law of the land, and this test is sort of the litmus test. It is on the pro-lifers to prove their case, since we've already seemed to have proven it one way. So it's going to be on them. So I know pro-lifers, you may be a little pissed at this, but sorry, them's the rules. I don't make them, or at least I am now, but that's just the way this is going to work for the sake of this argument, all right? So this is what you're going to do, pro-lifers. You're going to get a plant, and you're going to have to come together and raise this plant and decide on a set of rules and guidelines to govern the plant's life, from being a seedling all the way to the very end, all right? And this plant, I don't know, it'll be something small, it'll be something basic, something easy to care for that you can't fuck up. It's going to be something like a dandelion or a weed that covers the globe way too easily and that there's way too many of. For some reason, I feel like that's an apt analogy for people all the way around. But this is what you're going to have to work with. But this is where things get tricky, all right, pro-lifers, because there's in among these dandelions, you're going to have to come together, all of you, and you're going to have to decide everything about your plant. You're going to have to actually agree on everything when it becomes a plant and not a seed when that difference takes place, and controlling its life so that it doesn't propagate into areas where you don't want it. Because again, that's also part of life, is spreading life in a controlled manner. And this also seems to be the heart of your argument. These are also pretty big, fundamental questions that you're going to have to agree on if you want to come to us with an argument later. All right? You may also be wondering at this point then why you have to agree. And it's pretty simple. Because your argument for abortion is technically speaking for everyone. It's not just speaking for you. It's speaking for everyone. And if it's going to speak for everyone, then each and every one of you better know what you're talking about. I don't know. If you want to have like a poll online, or you want to have a vote, because we know how much you guys agree with popular sentiment among things usually. But there isn't room for factionalism here, all right? This isn't like Europe, all right? You got to agree, and that's just the way it is. You get more than one party, you get more than two parties, you get socialism, and this is America, and that's not how we do these things here. So this is what you have to do. You have to make a friend and figure out how you're going to raise a plan, a defined policy start to finish, and you're all going to have to come together on this. And if you don't, then sorry, you fail. Done. Experiment over. So I suggest that you think about this long and hard. Now, I know at this point, some of you choicers out there are probably wondering what's to stop the pro-life crowd from just getting together and making up some policies on the life of a plant that they never adhere to, just so they can advance to the next round of the trial. And oh yes, by the way, pro-lifers, I didn't mention it, but yes, there are multiple rounds to the trial. There's going to be like 12 more rounds or 12 total, something like that. I like the number 12, so this is what we're working with here. And sorry, that's just the way clinical trials work. You start with something basic and then you work your way up to humans. So however many steps need to be determined in there, that's what we're going to do. But look on the bright side. This is better than actually having to watch C-SPAN and, figure out when a baby's actually a baby. So, at least that's a win. And to answer the question, sure, I suppose that all of them could get together and agree just for the sake of that. But I'm pretty sure that would happen only if hell froze over. I mean, we're dealing with human nature here. And I'm pretty much willing to bet dollars to donuts that any person that wants to control somebody else's life probably can't shelve their ego long enough to agree with someone about how to manage a growing plant. All right. Their ego's too big at this point. So if by some remarkable feat they do get together and get through stage one, the next stages are going to get progressively harder because the life gets more complex. At some point, they'll have to agree about the life of a parrot. And parrots can live like 50 years, all right? And that's a long time for anyone to eat shit about their ideas. So I'm guessing that there's going to be some disagreements. You can almost count on that. And again, while all of this is going on, abortion will be totally legal. And if all 12 rounds are successfully completed, then the pro-lifers can challenge the law again. That's the way it works, because now they have evidence, they have data to back it up. And first of all, this is going to take a really long time. Again, even if they can agree, and they can take as long as they want to try to agree, so that they don't fail the experiments, but it's going to take some time, one way or the other. And if they do come to some sort of consensus and it's found within their group, then they probably have a better understanding on all aspects of life, and maybe even a little more understanding on how to work together for a compromise. So much to the point that they're probably not going to be the same assholes they were when they went into this argument. So either way, it's a benefit for you pro-choicers, just so you know. And pro-lifers, don't think you're getting hosed in this deal. Don't think that, oh, well, you're the ones that have to prove your point. And the burden's being put on you. Yes, it is. But once and for all, you're given a chance to end the argument. To end the argument. We are now giving that to you. Think about it. You're going to be able to prove your point and let everyone you know what's best for them. And if you can prove that, imagine what other things people are going to listen to you for. And just think about it. For the guy who finally cracks the code on when life begins, or how we should live it, and any of those sort of things, he's going to have his name remembered forever. He's going to be immortal, just like the peanut butter guy. This is quite literally the opportunity of a lifetime. Don't throw it away like some unborn. You get the point. But through all of this, all of this debate, all of this argument, what makes this compromise so satisfactory, at least on a personal level, is that while all of this is going on, I will never have to read another meme or see another infographic about abortion ever again on my social media feed or anywhere else for that matter. And nothing could make me happier. And really, if I'm happy, I couldn't care less what you other people do. And that's how you solve abortion. You're welcome, America.